Hello, good evening, and welcome back from the BBC. Sex, lies, and legal consent. Can deceit turn sex into rape? And this, of course, becomes a sliding scale because at what point do you say, that lie is too much, now it's rape? And at what point is it okay to lie to somebody to get them to bed if you were at a game because you're wanting sex? Where does it where does it lie? Similar with Julian Assange, of course, the accusation against him is having sex with the ladies, and then that was consensual, but then not using protection latterly, that was non-consensual and therefore was rape. That's the thought. Yes, now rape is a catch-all for a sliding scale of crimes, some of which perhaps shouldn't even be crimes. So, a man is challenging his conviction for raping a woman who willingly slept with him after he falsely claimed to have had a vasectomy. How can someone be guilty of rape if the partner has agreed to sex, and what implications does the case have? So, this was particularly egregious because the lady then took the morning after pill, didn't work, and had an abortion. So you can see in this point, okay, that's what the lady went through. That's understandable, but is it still rape? Because if it's okay in lying about being infertile, that makes it rape. They will also go on to mention what about lying about STIs or STDs? But then what about if you lie about whether you're married or if you're single? What about if you're lying about what you do for a living, how much money you have? Any of these things, does that then become rape because the person is not having sex with the person that they think they're having sex with? Because then they are different sliding scales of deceit. Where is a black and white to say, well, yes, this is rape, so you got 20 years in prison, and this is not rape, so you're free? Where does it lie? So let's read on, and I'll keep this one brief. Section 74 of the Sexual Offences Act 2003 says a person consents if he or she agrees by choice and has the freedom and capacity to make that choice. That's that's what it says. So the senior Crown prosecutor put the case together, went on to say, by lying about the vasectomy, he deprived that particular victim of making an informed choice. If these convictions are upheld on appeal, the concern is that members of the public, both male and female, who have never been considered criminals in the eye of the law, will be at risk of prosecution for serious sexual offences. Said the defence. And that's what they go on to say. And they've got some statistics here. They say out of 313 men aged between 21 and 30 from a survey from Arizona State University, they said 23.4% of men admitted having used deception at least once since the age of 14. Most common was planning to withdraw before ejaculation but not intending. That's about a fifth. And it's funny that because you can't really prove it, they do try and suggest that in one of them. When we read on, here we are, what if a man doesn't withdraw? So, such a case had already been considered by a UK court, and it involved a husband and wife. She didn't want to have any further children and agreed to have sex provided he withdrew before he ejaculated. He seemingly agreed to that, but there was sufficient evidence to show he had no intention to withdraw. So now it goes on to what the person was thinking, and they might have changed their mind latterly, or they might have not been able to help themselves. And it's odd to try and draw intention from this, because now you're the thought police. So now they mention STI count as rape, but the thing I'd like to finish with is the difference between men and women, essentially. So this is going between Miss Russell and Miss Poole, both women, interestingly enough, so you can't play that card. So Miss Russell has a problem with the vasectomy and contraceptive pill comparison. So with issues around contraception and pregnancy, it's the woman whose body and life and health is affected by that kind of lie, she said. That is not in any way comparing like for like, because it's the woman who has to deal with the consequences of pregnancy and termination, and in the example given, the impacts on the man are not of comparable kind. And what you're thinking, what I'm thinking, is also what Paul says. The issue is the extent to which the lie vitiates consent, she said. If a man finds himself a father of a child under the circumstances, there are all sorts of consequences that flow from that. It might be argued there's a double standard in so many walks of life. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so that particular point, as Dr. Vanderbeek has pointed out plentifully, that a woman can rape a man, not have it considered rape, and then get him to pay for that child, for that raped child, for 18 years, and of course, we don't have a debtor's prison in the UK except for men paying child support, because that's the agreed upon amount, and if you don't pay it, then you go to prison, even if you can't afford it. So yes, that man can then end up in prison for being raped. Yeah, not for raping, but for being raped. So going on, it might be argued there's a double standard in so many walks of life. We women have achieved equality and demand to be treated with the same level of respect as men, where the lie deemed to create criminal liability is exactly the same. I think it is problematic to carve out areas where we are protected solely because we are women. Well, exactly. So at that point, I'm intrigued to know what you guys think. Where should the line be drawn? Because now you have people lying about gender as well, and of course now you've got protected groups, and then they say other lies to say age, single, wealth, and also undercover police. So Ms. Paul says, in the absence of specific legislation, who makes the rules about what's in between and how a jury is to navigate these decisions? And that's what I want to know from you guys. Where do you think the line is drawn? Which two very similar situations do you think should be, well, this is definitely rape, and this is a sliding scale, or not a sliding scale, rather, this is not rape at all? Or do you think it should be a sliding scale? Do you think it should be, okay, so if it's violent rape, it's 25 years. If it's drunken rape, so that they can't exist properly, it's 20 years, and then just work your way down from there. If you say you're infertile when you're not, it's 15. STIs, does it then depend on whether or not you infect them, or is it just the intent that matters? How does the intent differ from the result? It doesn't matter what the STI is. How many laws are you going to have to create to change this? You have a sliding scale of STIs and whether or not you actually affect them or not. That'll be fun. You got to pay for their treatment. But then again, you come back to the debtor's prison. So anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. I'm very intrigued because I haven't come to a conclusion yet. But hey, if I think of something, I'll let you know. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.